Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 10 Pan-European destroyer Holland, which is a favorite of mine, of course. This game I thought was kind of interesting for, well, a couple reasons, but I think probably the biggest reason is that I played the game, it seemed to me, kind of alone a lot of the game. It's not that this team didn't operate as a team, because as you'll see, they did. RU-190 and Benson on the A side, our Des Moines, St. Vincent, and a couple of others over on the Charlie side. They all worked really well, and I was kind of in the middle to start the game, which you'll see. I like very much to, when I'm playing a destroyer, work whatever capture point there is on at whatever point I spawn on the map. And since I spawned in the center here, and there are no CVs, I really kind of felt like I owed it to the team to do at least a little of something here in the Bravo cap, or at the Bravo cap. Now, the rune that you see there just off of my port side, he did his best. He ends up over at the Alpha cap, and he gets pretty frustrated. Now you can see on his side, he's got the Benson over there south of A, along with Montana and Jean Bar B. And he's very unhappy with the support that he feels that he didn't get later in the game, which you'll see. Now, this game starts out pretty slow. Of course, I would understand if you just kind of sped through some of this. Like most games, when they start, it's all about, where am I going to position? How am I going to position? I am going to try and position so that if the Petro pushes just north of that island at B, when I get radared, I can use the island for cover. That's my goal. Another thing with this ship or with the gearing is I can throw torpedoes across the north half of the Charlie cap through the little gap that you see right there. I'm not really sure a lot of times whether I'm going to do that or not. I'm kind of looking at the positioning of the red ships, and I see that there is a lightning in the cap supported by Santander on the outside. I still don't see anybody in the Bravo cap, but that might be because somebody on the other team is doing exactly what I'm doing here. Playing cautiously, not wanting to get caught out and blapped. So I'm going to get these torpedoes away and just cross my fingers. I don't want to sit in that gap because sometimes people on the other team will look at that gap as an opportunity to torpedo your team. All right, so their lightning, he took a little bit of a beating getting into the Charlie cap. We've got Des Moines out there, with, of course, with radar. So on the red team, on the Charlie side, you've got Lightning and Shima versus Z52 and Des Moines. I think that's a pretty good matchup. Now backed up by St. Vincent. He only really has a shot on Santander at this point. And Amagi seems to be heading that way as well. You can see there is the Petro. I do not want to sit here and get radared and get blapped. So I'm going to go ahead and fall back a bit. I'm just telling the team that that's where he is, and I do manage to catch the lightning. So, not a whole lot of damage, but I really feel good about that. Catching the lightning the way that I did might have prevented him being able to get another volley of torpedoes away. So Des Moines takes out Shima, and there Zeton takes out our Z52. I'm not really sure why Z52 felt the need to push around the corner like that, but he did, and he got blapped. So right now, both teams are down 2 ships, and this is a game of positioning. Now, on the other side, at Alpha, the Kid and the Shimakaze, they're working really well together, and they also have a sub over there. And working together, they've been able to secure the Alpha cap, and that really kind of makes the difference. We've lost a destroyer and a sub. The bad guys have lost 2 destroyers, and as a result, we now are down, roughly 45 points or so. And we lose our Benson, loose gear, and the Benson goes down to the Shimakaze. Our St. Vincent finishes off that Santander that really just was a little too visible in such a squishy ship with the St. Vincent out there. Now, what am I doing? I'm trying to avoid getting radared by Petro, and I'm hoping to get some opportunities for torpedoes. Now, the red team on the Charlie side, they probably know the Asashio is here, and they're probably positioning versus Asashio torpedoes. but they really don't know that I'm here. I mean, they know that I sank the Lightning, if they were paying attention, but they don't know exactly where I am. And I know Petro's in the cap there. I'm not going to push into the Petro. It'll just wreck me in this thing. I'm still in radar range, and now I've detected Petro, and now I have to really beat feet. I do not want to get caught here where all these ships can shoot at me, so I need to get around this island as quickly as possible, and I'm going to throw some torpedoes at this corner and hope I catch somebody there. If I get radared, I'm going to hit the speed boost. As it stands right now, I don't really see the need to use it. I'm just pointing out to the team, hey, there's radar there. If nothing else, they'll know why I'm not pushing into the Bravo cap. So as it stands right now, the bad guys have all three caps, although we have a Montana and a Rune that are working. I do land some torpedoes there at that corner, as I expected. That came right around that corner. Montana, seeing the torps, he's turning in. And Rune is beginning to be very unhappy. I can't say I blame him. All right, so have I done much? No, I really haven't. But as you've probably heard me say, if you watched my videos for any length of time, fairly often, conserving your HP till the late game can be a really important key to success. It's not that you shouldn't contribute at all. You can see I kept my distance for a reason. Petro has radared me now. I'm going to hit the speed boost and try to get out of radar range. Now that radar is only going to last about 25 seconds, and it's down. So I'm putting torps out on a wing and a prayer. Probably not going to hit anything. We'll just call those area denial. Montana is probably going to accelerate forward, and I don't think Petro is going to get caught by any of them. I knew that the rest of the team out there, St. Vincent, Amagi, Des Moines, Sashio, they all had guns on that Zeton. There really wasn't any point in me dropping him. Now, what's this going to do? What does putting those torps do there? Well, maybe it catches Montana, with one, I guess. But more than anything, it tells the red team that there's a threat out here, a torpedo threat out here. And that's going to allow our guys to push in. You can see that the Thunderer, way to the north there on the Delta line, he's sitting there and he's starting to move. He's running to the other side of the map. Now, the bad guys still have all the caps. But we do have a one-ship advantage, and we're only down 100 points, which I know is a lot, but this is still anybody's game. And, of course, our Rune on the other side, he's still very, very unhappy. Now, that Montana and Petro, they've plainly decided there's no turning around. There's no getting out of here. And Petro is, well, he's trying, but it's going to be too little too late. That Montana that's in the cap, he's just going to eat a face full of something. You've got Amagi out there on the corner on the 10 line. You've got Des Moines hiding behind an island. You got St. Vincent who's repositioning to be able to get broadsides. And north of them now, you've got a Sashio B on the Delta line. And so what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to try and get into the Bravo cap. You can see Jean Bar. I don't think he intends to go into the cap. And so Jean Bar and Montana that are right here with me on the map are, well, they left the Alpha cap, and that's what our Rune has been complaining about. Was that smart? Was it not smart? I'm not making any judgments. I'm just saying that that's what happened, and our Rune was very unhappy about that. And that left him kind of out there alone. Now he's contesting that cap, which is a really good thing, because as long as the Rune is in the Alpha cap, the red team is not getting points for it. Now why he decided to push around that corner, I don't know, but he did. And as soon as he pushes around that corner, he makes himself a target. Now, if he had sat there, probably the kid and the Shimakaze would have just come around the corner once their torps were reloaded, and then would have finished him off. It's easy to armchair quarterback. I might have, given this situation, if it were me, have run south. Just line my ship up to be able to run south and try and drag those DDs away from the Bravo cap, so my team could do that. But our Rune did what he did, and he's trying to bang up their destroyers. And I applaud that. He is making an effort. He's trying to make a play. Now I got to be really careful here. You see, my radio location indicator. So I'm throwing some torpedoes out there, hoping to catch somebody. Those are probably going to be dual-purpose torps. I got all 3 of those battleships out there in that same area, and I wasn't really like thinking any particular guy. I mean, you can see Thunderer crossing there, but all 3 of them are going to be right in line with those torpedoes. So I expect that's going to probably end up pretty nicely. I'm just trying to avoid getting detected by whatever's in that smoke. You can see the Shima, you can see the Kid, and really that's it, right? So I just got to sit here until I secure the cap, and then I need to run. And I'll probably run kind of southwest along the face of this island that's just south of my position. But there's one torpedo hit, and it just keeps on going. Oh, salmon is right there. I'm glad I didn't move forward and north. That would have been really bad to get detected by salmon. Now, our Rune, he did a great job. He literally ran around the island in the middle of the ACAP. So my hat's off to him for that. That was a bold move. I don't think I would have had the cojones to do that, but he did, and he survived it versus a Kid and a Shima and a salmon. And I'm hoping to get over here and help him, but at this point he's got the Thunderer kind of pushing right into his face. I'm going to put some torpedoes out there. If the Thunderer stays on the same line, that's probably going to really hurt him. Will he? I don't know. And you can see our Rune, again, very unhappy with Jean Bar and Montana. But, you know, the longer this game is in the tooth, the more experienced players that are playing this game are going to play conservatively. That's just kind of the nature of the game right now. This Kid, trying to get around the corner on our Rune, puts himself right in my crosshairs, and I've got cover from an island against the Thunderer. Kid finishes off the Thunderer, and I'm trying like mad to finish the Kid here. His guns aren't firing, so I'm expecting maybe 3 torpedoes, and I have to be careful too because I know the Shima's out here. Oh, the Rune, I think he should have gone with the guns, but plainly he threw torpedoes out there, and I just can't quite finish off the Kid, which is a shame. I'm detected, so I need to get on the move. Thunderer has me, Kid has me, Shima has me, Balau, salmon, and I'm just gonna take a beating. Now I got a heel that's just finished up. I got 1 second till I go dark, and I just have to get around to this island. If torpedoes are on the way from the salmon, maybe I can use the island here.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Now those have got to be Shima torpedoes there. Doesn't look like I have anything heading my way right now. So I'm going to heal up here. And I guess the Shima's on the outside. Now, you'll see that my team has moved into Bravo. They've completely boxed out the Petro and Montana that are stuck now on the Bravo line. And they're using the islands to keep the Thunderer from being able to get their broadsides. They are playing well as a team, all those guys over there. And I'm over here trying to keep their destroyers and submarine engaged. I'm hoping, as I get detected, it's got to be Shima, right? I'm hoping as I get detected that I can just tie up their destroyers so that our guys don't have to worry about taking torpedoes into their broadside. Now, why did I keep accelerating forward? Because if Shima launched torpedoes, the only way it could have hit me is if he launched them into the island. That's the line you would have had to take. Now, I'm expecting Shima is going to try and torp the corner, just like I did earlier. So when I get up here, I'm going to slow down. I'm just looking to see whether or not there's anything I can torp here. No, doesn't look like it. Now, one thing I want to mention here is you see that I use the torpedo indicator a lot. Rather than pressing the 1 key and activating my guns or the 2 key, I use the 3 key. Why do I do that? Because there's a commander skill that'll tell you when someone has you targeted. And a lot of people use that, especially on battleships and cruisers, but if you're using the 3 key, it won't tell them that anybody's got them targeted. So they'll be detected, but they won't know they're targeted. And that can be really helpful information for you as a destroyer player. Why? Well, because they're not expecting anything to be heading their way, which can make it a little easier for it to land torpedoes. Now I'm going really, really slow here. And I'm going to stop again because there are the torpedoes. And Shima's probably moving my way, is what I'm thinking. So I don't want to pick up any speed because if I have to reverse, I want to be able to do that without having to first get my ship to stop. You can see he is moving forward fast. I'm just going to start putting some shells into him here around the corner. He's going to have to turn out. His torpedoes aren't going to do anything. And I might be able to finish him off. Now that's 2 sets. He might have another set. Depends upon whether he was staggering his torpedo launches. But I'm going to have to push out here if I'm going to have any chance of catching him and finishing him off. And I'm turning in now, hoping to avoid torpedoes. And there's something else right there. It's got to be the kid. It is.
Problem solved, sir.
And let's see how many shells I can put on the kid. That's 4 right away. That's this replay is a little bit older. I think that's that bug where shells drop short. And he's doing a lot of damage to me too. But I do manage to finish him off. And I've still got, I had 800 and some HP, right? You saw that. And now I'm at 1026. And this game is over. We've got Bravo, we've got Charlie. They've only got the Thunderer remaining. And I'm going to get into the Alpha Cap here with Montana. And I feel really good about this game. You know, I was able to take 3 ships out. 2 of them destroyers late in the game that could otherwise have been harassing this Montana, the St. Vincent, and even the Des Moines. You know, the Shima and the Kid both have torpedoes. Now, the Kid doesn't have a lot of them, for sure, but I really feel like I helped the team. And that's kind of what it's all about, at least for me. That's it. There's not a whole lot else that's exciting that's going to happen this game. I hope you enjoyed this much of it. You know, to recap, as you can see on the top there, did a little bit of spotting, did some I did a cap, and I'm going to help secure this one. 3 kills, 17 torpedo hits, which I think is a pretty good game. 6 floods on those torpedo hits, 75 shells on target, 2 fires, 9 incapacitations. All in all, I think a pretty good showing. Do you have the Halland? Do you like playing the ship? Do you play destroyers at all? If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to see them below. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.
Our team has taken the lead.